Good morning students and welcome to our YouTube channel Eng.Med Modern School. So in the previous video we have just seen the muscular system. In that we have seen that more than 600 muscles are run in our body. Okay. So in that what is that? So the muscles work in pair. Okay, and the bones and the muscles are attached with each other and the muscles work in pair. How they work in pair? If I just want to say I just want to bend my hand. Okay, so here how can I bend this hand? Okay, so here I will say that the muscle which is there over here will just pull this muscle. So what will happen? This muscle will contract and our hand will bend. Okay, in that way there are different types of the muscles. In that further we have seen about the two types of the muscles. That first was voluntary muscles, second was involuntary muscles. Okay students, so first what is voluntary muscles? The muscles which are controlled by ourselves, means which I can control, the muscle which I can control, that is known as the voluntary muscles. Okay, and involuntary muscles, the muscles which are not in our control, they will work according to them, like the muscles in our internal parts like heart, lungs, kidneys, and this all the muscles work by their own. We can't stop that. Okay, so this was the types of the muscles, that was voluntary and involuntary. Then after here we have seen was the central nerve system. So here the central nerve system consists of the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. The nerve system controls all the action of the parts of our body, and it is the brain that controls the nerve system. And the brain commands the body part to react suitably. The nerves again carry back these messages from the brain to the body parts. Okay, so first that is brain. We will talk about the brain. So what is that? So talking about the brain, we all know that the central processing unit, that is CPU, we can say that the brain of computer, the central processing unit of computer, that is CPU. So in that way all the things are controlled by our mind. Okay, means the brain. Okay, so that we all know that the brain is protected by the skull or the cranium, we can say both. Okay, so brain is very soft and it is protected by the cranium. Okay, so here moving further, that is the brain is protected by the skull or the cranium. The space between the two is filled with a protective fluid to cushion the brain against injuries. Okay, so here first of all the brain is protected by what? So here we can say that the brain is protected brain is protected by the skull or the cranium okay, the skull or by the cranium. Here the layers are there. First of all there is a skull which is on our hand, which is hard, and then after coming brain. So the space in between brain and the skull or the cranium, that is filled with a liquid. Okay, so here we can say that the space between the two the space between the two is filled with a protective fluid to cushion the brain against injuries. Okay, the brain against injury. Okay, so here they have further divided brain into three parts. So the first is cerebrum, secondly it is cerebellum, and third, that is medulla okay. Here if we see the introduction part of the brain, then first of all we can say that the brain is protected by what? Skull or the cranium. The brain is protected. Then after, here the space between the brain and the skull or the cranium is filled with a liquid. Why? It is filled with a liquid. So if there is an injury over there, okay, then it will be just absorb that injury and it just don't reach to the brain. So for that there is a liquid between that. Okay, for here the space between two is filled with a protective fluid to cushion the brain against the injury. Okay, and thirdly the brain they have just divided into three parts, that is cerebrum, then cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Okay, so these are the three parts of the brain. So here we can say that the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Okay, this one is the largest part of the brain. Let us see about it. So here the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. There are millions of neurons or nerve cells in it. This part of the brain helps us to think, speak, learn and remember. The cerebrum is the smaller than the brain cerebrum. It is in charge of muscular coordination. Its function is to see the muscles working together properly. Then after, it also maintains the body in an upright position. The medulla of Olga is the smallest part of the brain. It is located at the lower back part of the brain. It joins the brain to the spinal cord. It controls all involuntary actions of the body such as heartbeats and breathing. Thus, this part of the brain continues to function even when we are sleeping. So here, these three parts have different functions of it. Okay, this is for remember and speak and that all. So here, cerebrum is what? It is for different work, and this is also for different work. Okay, students. Now moving towards to the next one, that is the spinal cord. So here it is. The spinal cord extends down from the medulla oblongata down the vertebral columns almost to its end. From the center nerve, 31 pair of spinal, peripheral or side nerves branch out. The spinal cord thus connects the brain with the rest of the body. It also controls reflex action. The atomic response of the body to an event is called a reflex action. So here I have just given an example of reflex action, but here we will just see another one. So here we will talk about the spinal cord. So here the spinal cord spinal cord. So here they have just said in that is about the reflex action. So what is it? So first, that is the automatic response of the body to an event is called a reflex action. Reflex action. So here I have just given the example of the reflex action, that if there is a hot vessel over here, then when you just touch, then you will just directly take your hand back. Why? Because it is hot, so you will take your hand back. So this is the reflex action. And if you are just driving a car and you suddenly see a dog or a cow or any children running in the road, so what you will do, you will just apply brake, or you have to just control your car. So what happens, that the animal or the children will just don't come in front and it doesn't happen the accident. So this is all about the reflex action. So you have many of the reflex action in a day. You don't know that, but many of the reflex action is there in it. So here I have just given the example of the hot vessel. In that many of the things will happen, but you don't know about it. So here the example, that is, for it doesn't not involve signal from the brain. For example, if we touch something hot accidentally, we will immediately withdraw our hands. It is a reflex action. If a car driver sees a child run across the road, he slams on the brake even before he can think. He does not think what will happen if he stops or does not stop. There is no time to think. Here, as I have stated earlier, now moving towards nerves. Neurons or nerve cells are of three kinds, that is sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. Here now talking about the nerves. So nerves. Nerves. So here they have there are three kinds of the nerves. So the first one, that is sensory nerve. So what is sensory nerve? So here it is written, sensory nerve carries nerves carrying messages from the sense organ organs to the brain. Okay. Second, that is motor nerve. Okay. So motor nerve, that is motor nerve carry messages from the brain to muscles. Okay, this is the work of the motor nerves. And the third one, that is mixed nerves. So what is the work of the mixed nerves? Mixed nerves are two-way system they carry messages from the sense organ to the brain and carry back instruction from the brain or the spinal cord to other parts of the body. Okay, to the other parts of the body. Here the nerves are just of three types. First are sensory nerves. So what does the sensory nerves do? So here what do sensory nerves carry message from sense organs to the brain. Means which are the sense organs? The 5 are the sense organs: eyes, nose, mouth, then hands, hands not, tongue and the ears and skin. Okay, so this all are the sense organs. Then after motor nerve. So what does the motor nerve do? Motor nerves carry message from the brain to the muscles. Okay, then after mixed nerve are of two-way system, that is they carry messages from the sense organ or the brain to brain and carry the back instruction from the brain or the spinal cord to other parts of the body. Okay, so the nerves are divided into three parts. The first, that is sensory nerves, which they just take the instruction from sense organ to the brain. And then after motor nerves, what they do, the motor nerves take instruction from brain to the other part of the body. And mixed nerve, that do both. What they do, they take the message from sense organ to the brain and then after give back instruction to the other part of the body. So this is all about the nerves. Then after moving further, so here care of the sense organs. Okay, now our new topic, that is care of sense organs. Okay. So care of the sense organ. Okay, care of sense organ. So here we have to just care all the sense organs. So here they have first taken. First of all, that is our sense organs are our windows to the world. We get to know the world around us through these sense organs. If a window pane is dirty, we do not get a good view of the outside world. In the same, a damaged organ will not help us to sense around surrounding correctly. Therefore, it is very important to take good care of our sense organs. So here first, that is eyes. Talking about the eyes. So one of the sense organ, that is eyes. Okay. So eyes, we should take care of about the eyes. Why? Because if the eyes are not properly, then what will happen? We can't look our world clearly. Okay, so for that, if you want to look the world clearly, then you have to clean your eyes daily. So how we have to care about our eyes? Let us see. That is, clear, bright, sparkling eyes are an indication of good health. When you wake up in the morning, you wash your face and splash water in it. The eyes feel fresh with sleep or drowsiness chased away. A few good rules for the care of your eyes are given on the pages. So here first, that is, do not read when there is insufficient lighting. So the first thing that you have to do, that is, first thing That is, do not read when there is insufficient lightning okay. Then after the second one, that is, do not hold the book too close to your eyes. Then after third one, that is, do not keep watching TV for hours together. Then after, never look directly at the sun. Okay. Then after fifth one, that is, if anything goes into your eye, do not rub them. Okay. Then after sixth one, that is, do not wear cheap plastic dark goggles in order to look fashionable. Then after seventh one and the last one, if you have difficulty in reading what your teacher writes on blackboard, then tell your parents and go to eye specialist immediately. So these are the things that you should care about your eyes. So the first one, that is, do not read when there is insufficient lighting. Do not hold the book too close to your eye. Then after, do not keep watching TV for hours together. Never look directly at the sun. If anything goes into your eyes, do not rub them, and do not wear cheap plastic glasses in order to look fashionable. If you have difficulty in reading what your teacher writing on the blackboard, tell your parents and immediately go to the eye specialist. Okay, students, so in this video we just keep up to here. So in your homework, what you have to do, that is, you have to write all these points which I have written in the board in your homework for 2 times. Okay, students, and we will meet in the next video. Okay, bye, students.